Welcome. Well, you are at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family. And we are delighted that you have welcomed us into your home. We certainly would love to hear from you, so send us an email with a question or a comment to jimandjoy@ewtn.com. Well, today our guest again will be Grace Emily Stark. If you missed yesterday's show, hang on to your seats because we got a lot to talk about today. She is a Catholic writer, she is a speaker, and she is an editor for Natural Womanhood. And I encourage you, if you have a daughter, if you have grandchildren, please go to this website, naturalwomanhood.org. And I certainly enjoyed having a beautiful conversation with Grace. Yep. You know, we work at a pregnancy medical center, and we see the absolute fallout wreckage that this world has indoctrinated upon women about birth control, about their sexuality, about truly being removed from their true authentic self, and treating their body as if it's just something to be used and medicated, and it is awful. And so today it will be enlightening, it will be enriching in ways that you can make a difference. Because if you, as a mother, as a grandmother, as someone who can influence a young woman's life about everything that is good and true and beautiful about being a woman, we need to take that responsibility seriously. And you say, well, I'm a little uncomfortable about that conversation. Go to naturalwomanhood.org, and they will equip you with information that you need to share. And that's part of what the devil does, is he dupes us like we don't have a right to say this, or this is unnatural. No, it's natural. It's a natural design by God Almighty in ways that we can share and empower our daughters to be fully a woman, and tell the world and not think this is a curse or this is what happens and it's awful. No, it's not. It's something to be celebrated, and it's a gift. I have an opinion about that.
You definitely covered that. So there's going to be plenty more to come. We'll be right back. Naturalwomanhood.org. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and our guest again today is Grace Emily Stark. She is a Catholic writer and a speaker, and she is an editor for Natural Womanhood. Please go to this great website, naturalwomanhood.org. Be empowered, be informed, and then once you know, then go and tell somebody. Well, tell our family briefly what Natural Womanhood is.
Sure. So we're a nonprofit organization based out of San Antonio, Texas, that exists to inform women and couples about the evidence-based risks and side effects of hormonal birth control, but also about the goodness and beauty and science, really, behind fertility awareness and natural family planning.
Tell us about your advocacy work, and tell us as well about your equipping work. What are you doing for the church? I know you have a broader scope than that, but what are you doing, for the church or helping moms to share this? What special projects do you have going on?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked, because we do have a couple big initiatives underway right now. Our CEO, Gerard Mijon, just completed a round of 36 hours worth of interviews of couples who have used natural family planning in their marriage. Couples who've been married over, a pretty wide range of years, the 70s, 80s, 90s, some in the 2000s. And just asking them about what their experience was of using natural family planning in their marriage. Just very candid conversations, And there was so much to unpack. And we've got a report that we're putting together and that we're hoping to share with anyone who's interested in it. Because I think there's a lot that can inform pre-Cana classes that can inform marriage formation, marriage enrichment in different dioceses and parishes. Just some beautiful wisdom from couples who spoke, very openly and honestly about this can be a challenge. And it's especially challenging when we feel like the church doesn't have our back and when the church won't speak about it, when we don't hear anything about it from the pulpit, or even when, unfortunately we had couples who talked about having priests, someone even said they had a bishop tell them that he could give them dispensation to use birth control. And so there's a lot of misinformation that we're combating, both on the secular side of things and within the church. And so we've got this report that we did with these couples talking about the goodness and the beauty, that the fruit that they found in their marriages by using natural family planning. Even folks who thought that they were just going to be completely open to children, right? Thought, we don't need to do this because we just want all the children. 3, 4, 5 children later, they're thinking, it might be a good idea to space a little bit. How do we do that? Or, we're having some issues. How do we get help for that? And that's where charting came in, and tracking their cycles and using the family planning that comes on top of that, and how they actually wish that they had adopted it earlier in their marriage, even though they had, always intended to just be freely open to life. And then couples who were contracepting earlier on, wondering, why were we told that was okay? Why weren't we given this gift? Why couldn't we have been reaping these fruits earlier on in our marriage? And so that's a big piece that we have going on at Natural Womanhood right now, is just sharing the beauty of this way of life, the difficulty, not sugarcoating that, but the immense beauty and the goodness that comes from it.
Yeah, it's interesting you say this way of life.
Yes.
This is really a part of the natural law. It should be part of our way, but it's also a part of divine revelation in the Lord. And part of that way is what you were sharing in the first show, of moms especially sharing with their daughters about the beauty and sacredness of their fertility. And so often we say, well, how can I get closer to my child, and what can I do? Like, this is the wonder of your body, and I'm sharing your mom, with you about this and what you have to look forward to, some of the struggles that are with the human body, the gentle, ecology of a woman's femininity. But you talk about wanting to be close. That's part of the way. And then I guess in terms of natural family planning, when you speak of the way, what do you mean? What are some of the components that the men are sharing about? Because I know this way, if they enter into it, is really about agape love for the woman in a special way, her ecology, sensitivity to that, wanting the best for her, self-discipline, especially on the man's part. Are those some of the fruits of that? And just the sense that, hey, we're together in this. You're for me and I'm for you.
Yes. Oh gosh, well, you just took all the words right out of my mouth. How do I add to that?
I have a feeling you can.
Yeah, I can. But just baseline level, not wanting your wife to be on the pill and all of the risks and side effects that come with that, and even the mood altering. And there's this clip that's making the rounds on Instagram from a recent comedian Netflix special of a comedian, young woman, and she has this bit on birth control, and she says, I really want to get off birth control because I really want to meet me.
Yes.
And oh my goodness, that has been shared all over Instagram. It's resonating with people.
Yes.
And she's not Catholic. I wouldn't recommend watching her special to your audience. It's a bit raunchy, but there are some nuggets of wisdom in there where you see what the culture has really, the disservice it's done to young women, and the fallout, as you said in the opener, Joy, from that. And so I think just baseline level for husbands who just want their wives to be healthy, who want them to be themselves, to be the woman that they fell in love with. There's reason to look into natural methods. For husbands who, actually maybe want their wives to enjoy having sex with them, being on birth control is really not great for that. We have so much data about what it does to women physiologically that almost seems like it's meant to make women not enjoy sex anymore. Tanks their libido, has really appalling physiological effects. And like you said too, wanting to grow as a spouse and into your role as a husband and a protector, and willing the good of your wife, being willing to lay down some of your desires, and to practice that periodic abstinence that's necessary that really is so virtue building, and that's what a lot of couples find.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what we find at the center with clients is women have, people are so ignorant as to who they are, as when I cycle and my ovulation time. So there's a lot of apps out there, right? And a lot of apps, but you all have an app in your training to say how we do this so you could discover ovulation. Women are clueless that 7 to 10 days from the first day of their cycle, that's normally when she does, but that's why charting is so important, because it's not an app, one size fits all, and this is, you know, when you are going to be fertile or not fertile. So charting is so important.
Yeah, we actually don't have an app. We don't have an app, and we don't teach a method at Natural Womanhood. That really sets us apart from some of the other, you know, wonderful organizations that exist, the Couple to Couple League, the Billings Method. Those organizations, FEM, they teach specific methods, right?
You make people aware of all the different methods.
We
So what do you
are a
do?
one-stop shop where someone can go and learn about what natural family planning even is. We define the terms. We direct you to the resources, which, you know, even 10 years ago when I was preparing for marriage with my husband, that didn't exist. You had to kind of know what to Google, right? And so if you didn't even know that something called Billings existed, and you're just Googling fertility awareness, and what's popping up is the CDC telling you that it's 24% ineffective. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to turn? And so that's a big part of what we offer at Natural Womanhood is just, here is what it is, and we do it, you know, in as a secular language that meets people where they are, where we talk about the health benefits, where we talk about the risks of birth control, and we do it in a way that appeals to our culture that really wants to appeal to authority, right? We want to know, what does science say about this? Well, science is really on the side of fertility awareness because science tells us how bad hormonal birth control is for women.
So why is a cycle important? Why is a period important to have? Why is it disabling to suppress this cycle, that period for years? Because we have girls coming, they're 12 years old, they're 28 years old, they come and saying, you know, I've been on birth control, I haven't cycled, I feel terrible, I feel bloated, I feel like I'm half out of my mind.
I feel like I've been pregnant for 10 years.
So what's the benefit of what God's given to us? Because that's what you're talking about. Why is this natural way of fertility and having a period? What chemicals are being released that benefit a woman in her mind, her breast development, protection from cancer? Tell us about that, because that's the case for believers and non-believers.
Well, our hormones, it's folly to think that we can just shut down a bodily system and expect that it's not going to affect anything else, right? But for so long, that's exactly what women have been taught. You know, take this, it'll just keep you from getting pregnant, won't do anything else, you're fine, you know. That's not the case, because we know that women need their cycles, particularly when they're in their adolescence, when they're in their young 20s, for things like bone development. You have a very small window to lay down enough bone strength before you hit menopause, and you're not building up bone strength anymore. Building up your bone density as a woman is intimately tied with ovulating. If you're not ovulating well, you're not laying down the bone strength that you're going to need when you're an older woman who's in menopause, who's no longer building that bone density. Like you mentioned, breast development too. We need that cyclical ebb and flow of estrogen and progesterone that happens naturally over a menstrual cycle for our brains to develop properly. You know, that's a theory behind why girls in particular on hormonal birth control are susceptible to depression, anxiety, suicidality, because it affects so much of who we are as women. Our cycles are so interconnected. And when we take this pill chock full of the synthetic version of those hormones, it tells our body's natural system not to produce the natural hormones. And those synthetic hormones do not act the same way in our bodies as our natural ones would.
Well, you know, there's a great book, it's called The Body Keeps the Score.
Yes.
And that is so helpful to understand how we go. And in this culture in which we live, you know, birth control is fruit from the abortion. It comes from the same tree, so that we feel as women, because we were told 50 years ago, birth control is the best thing since sliced bread, and now you can have as much sex as you want and do whatever it is that you want.
And who does that really benefit?
Nobody, the man. And so what happens
Not
is
good men.
not good men. And so then when you
Feeling
get
very alone.
when you get pregnant, it's almost like, well, I must have done something wrong. So you're bearing the responsibility
Yeah.
in the relationship. And then I was being responsible. My birth control failed me. Abortion is an option.
See it all
It's
the
the
time.
next responsible
and
thing
that's
to
the
do,
next
right?
responsible thing
Yeah.
to do. And how that affects us emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physically,
Right.
and it takes its toll.
And all of
on
this
us.
pits young women against their fertility,
Mm-hmm.
against their bodies. And you wonder why women are throwing in the towel and saying,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a woman. I'm not a woman. I'm a man. Because we pit them against their fertility and tell them it's this dirty, awful curse that they've been given. And is it any wonder, you know, when the culture's selling you that message, when it's telling you, you know, for you as a young girl going through puberty, that's weakness. You're getting weaker. A man's getting stronger. He's getting bigger bones, stronger bones, deeper voice. He's more commanding when he walks in a room. What are you getting? You're getting softer, right? And in our culture, we say that's weakness. Your ability to get pregnant, your fertility, that's weakness.
Right.
And so it's no wonder to me at all that we have young women who are saying, I have this awful, horrible, painful period every month, and I am weaker in society's eyes compared to a man. Maybe I don't want to be a woman at all. Maybe I just want to be a man.
And then corporate America gets all tied in that. If you get pregnant, it's like, oh, you're pregnant. That's going to affect your
Your
career.
liability
Oh
and
my
your
God, right?
business
I mean,
and-
so it's
yeah.
happening from the medical community, the pharmaceutical community, corporate America. And so it's kind of like, but now is the time, the greatest time to be born and to be a woman is to say, no, let me tell you the truth, the
Yeah.
real truth, so
Yeah.
help me God.
Right.
And as my true authentic self, as I am, and natural womanhood is doing that so well.
Yep. And it's effective. You know, I really want to underscore that. At the end of the day, we're told it's not effective. It's not true. The CDC got their 24% failure rate off the rhythm method. Studies that looked at the rhythm method, not modern methods of fertility awareness, not the symptothermal method, which can be 99% effective with perfect use,
still have-
97% with regular use.
They're still putting that forth?
We petitioned them.
Okay, well, I was saying, what are you going to do about it?
And now they say 2 to 23%, depending on the method. So we're getting there, right?
no, it's
We're
great that you're
making
doing
some
that.
inroads. We have another petition to the FDA telling them they need to be more honest about the side effects
Of birth control.
and to put bigger, better, more clear warnings on it. We're working on that. But yeah, we're up against a lot of it. We're up against, you know, medical schools that teach medical
Yeah.
students that this is the rhythm method. Don't even talk to your patients about it. We're up against the CDC that, you know, is kind of gave us a little bit of something there, but when someone looks at that failure rate and there's no explanatory message there, like, well, here are the methods that are the 2%, which you want, you know, the 2% failure rate, but they don't get that granular with it, obviously. So you have to be motivated to then go look for that data. But we're working on it. We're
Yeah.
getting some inroads,
Yeah, I mean-
and there's hope.
You're up against a lot. We're up against a lot, and this is not to condemn people that don't know the truth or
No.
thought this was the way to go, but we are up against the demonic
Yeah.
because this is how you destroy a people.
Yeah,
It's
it
with their
is.
sexuality,
Yeah.
perverting it, doing the opposite of what's natural to them, saying, "Oh, this is too." We've had girls that want to have abortions because of morning sickness.
Yeah.
Okay, they say, I don't want to go through morning sickness. And you raise the whole transgender thing. Well, maybe I should just do away with this totally and take some hormones so that I could feel more like a man, or just get this thing balanced out. So yeah, it is a war to that which is of the essence, to culture, society, to the church, to civilization itself. But one of the helps for this, and it's a terrible thing, it's just the pain of it. Because we see women coming to us, and I always say to Joy, I've never seen so many women who've been savaged, by this. And so it's kind of like, well, what do you got to say? Like, maybe I want to hear it, So you're perfect for a time such as this.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and I feel so strongly that this is a message that young women need to hear, and they need to hear it earlier. It's too late when we get couples in pre-Cana who've already been living together and using birth control.
Right.
And so that's why another one of our initiatives is we're starting clubs at universities. We have a couple in Texas, and we're getting young women together. We're training leaders for these clubs, and they're getting together. They're called cycle mindfulness clubs, and they're talking about this experience of being a woman together and the goodness of it.
We're going to take a break at this point. We're going to hold you over for the final segment. We want to hear more. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Don't go away.
Welcome back. We're at Home with Jim and Joy, and we're having a beautiful conversation with Grace. And for naturalwomanhood.org, please go out to their website. But before we went to break, you were talking about cycle mindfulness and groups that are up on college campuses. Tell our family about that.
Yeah, we're piloting some clubs on college campuses where we're training the leader and encouraging her to go out and find women who want to learn more about their fertility, about their cycles. And
It's not about biking.
No.
Cycle mindfulness.
Yeah, not cycling, yeah. But get into kind of the rudimentary basics of charting. Hey, did you know that you can track your cycle and do it in a way that's really meaningful, that, you know, could maybe even help you with your study habits when you know that you're going to be feeling a little bit low and you need to take it easy, and just kind of really basic level kind of stuff that we find young women are really, really hungry for. And so we've piloted a couple of those at some different universities in Texas, and we're hoping we can get some funding to do some more, to train more of the leaders. And yeah, we've got that going on because, like I said before the break, we need to get women earlier. And we haven't talked a lot about boys, but we do need to get boys involved too, and we're working on some ways to do that. But we have the mother-daughter program that we were talking about earlier on the previous episode, where we're looking at how to equip moms with young teen daughters with the things, just the words to say, what they can tell them, how they can start these conversations with their daughters to break this cycle of just negativity and shame and fearfulness around our fertility.
Yeah, and if you want closeness with your sons and your daughters, this area needs to be addressed without fear. You have authority, you have the truth on your side, and to do so, because this is like central to the demonic plan to mess this all up. And nobody's hesitating on the other side.
No, there's
to
wedges being built between parents and children all over. And this is such a powerful way to grow in closeness, not only to your daughters, but your sons, just being open with them, being honest, building that trust, and doing it as early as you can.
And when they hear the offer from the other side in various forms, and you've really trained them and have been with them and have walked through it, it's like, that isn't high enough for me and who I am.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you don't know that, like you said, the joke, I'd really like to be introduced to me, because I don't have any idea who I am. You're telling them who they are. You're affirming their essence, their sexuality, and saying, this is what it means to be feminine. And they can't do that for themselves. That's a woman-to-woman thing especially, and saying, here, this is who you are. Meet yourself, be at home in your body, be at home in your sexuality. This is grand, this is beautiful, this is lovely. And you'll see the lies out there, but you'll know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more.
Yes.
That's not enough for me.
Right. And that's where, as parents, we need to draw our sword, because this is the line. Because like Jim said, the devil is out there just ready to sift and destroy. It's like a roaring lion is at the door, and it's like, no, 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 no. You know, and we have to combat it with the truth, and we have to take this seriously. Even in confirmation classes. We have confirmation classes come into the center, and we teach them before they're confirmed what a pregnancy medical center is. I'm Catholic, I'm supposed to be pro-life. Well, what's really going on in our culture, right? So here's another avenue just to say, Catholics, here we are. We have the truth, and we need to tell it from the mountaintops.
You have about 30 seconds, and you have a closing word to the family. What would you like to say?
I would just like to say, you know, we just celebrated the feast of Pope St. John Paul II. Be not afraid. You know, the culture's not afraid to tell your kids what they want to tell them. Be not afraid to tell your children the truth. And we can equip you with that with our resources at Natural Womanhood.
Thank you so much for being with
Beautiful.
us
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you
and
for
for
having
Natural
me.
Womanhood. It's a true voice, an authentic voice, a scientific voice, a prophetic voice. All together we'll build a new culture of life, marriage, and the family. Keep it on EWTN. Bye now.